All right, I will start the class.
Yes, Madhavi, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the cyber class tonight on Srimad Bhagavatam, the glorious Bhagavad Puran. We're going to discuss chapter 40 of chapter 14, Canto 3. So we'll start with the bhajan from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girvaradhari Jaya Girvaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Srila Gurudeva Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Alright, sweet devotees, Hare Krishna to all the Vaishnavas. So this evening, we are actually going to be delving on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, entitled The Status Quo, Chapter 14, entitled Pregnancy of Diti in the Evening. Shloka 40. Please recite the shloka along with me. Praninam hanyamananam Dinanam Kritagasam Strinam Nigrahyamananam Kopiteshu Mahatmasu Praninanam Hare Krishna Praninam Hanyamananam Dinanam Kritagasam Strinam Nigrahyamananam Kopiteshu Mahatmasu Praninanam Hare Krishna Praninam Hanyamananam Dinanam Kritagasam Strinam Nigriha Mananam Kopiteshu Mahatmasu. Synonyms. Praninam, when the living entities, Hanyamananam, being killed, Dinanam, of the poor, Akrita Agasam, of the faultless, Strinam, of the women, Nigrahyamananam, being tortured, Kopiteshu, being enraged, Mahatmasu, when the great souls. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. They will kill poor, faultless living entities, torture women, and enrage the great souls. Amagnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिति नामिने नमः आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथादामदाय नगरगामतारिणे नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदन्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतश्वे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् आनन्दलीला मय विग्रहाय हेमाभदिव्या छवि सुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय श्री चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So Hare Krishna to all Vaishnavas. So we have Kashyapa Muni chastising his wife and foretelling the future about her sons for whom she broke the rules, and she made her counterpart also break the rules. So he was sitting nicely. He's gone back to his meditation, And she was basically praying to Lord Shiva, asking for atonement. So this is when, it's like you're irking your husband after doing when you do the not so required action, which has already been instructed, don't do that. Then if you go back and say, oh, I'm sorry, I did this, I shouldn't have done that, please atone. So then he goes declaring to his wife, which Mataji covered very nicely yesterday. So the demonic nature, he declared you will have demonic kids. So Devasura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga, chapter 16. Lord Krishna was explaining the divine and demonic nature. And in that chapter, starting from Shloka 4 itself, he explained what is the nature of a demonic person, right? And which is clearly given in one sentence here. They kill the poor, they're faultless living entities, torture women, enrich the great souls. So let's go into the purport by Srila Prabhupada. His, like Dad says, his ecstatic realization. Demoniac activities are predominant when innocent, faultless living entities are killed, women are tortured, and the great souls engaged in Krishna consciousness are enraged. In demonic society, innocent animals are killed to satisfy the tongue, and women are tortured by unnecessary sexual indulgence. Where there are women and meat, there must be liquor and sex indulgence. When these are prominent in society, by God's grace, one can expect a change in the social order by the Lord himself or by his bona fide representative. This entire purport actually represents our current condition on planet Earth. Give you a very live example. There is a country called North Korea, and you have around 25 million people staying there. There is this dictator ruler. So what he does is, to basically control these 25 million people, and I should say 1%, he appeases them by giving them everything necessary, but he even controls that 1% who are well off, North Koreans. So here is the first line, demonic activities. He basically finds fault in the innocent. How? You did not keep a picture of me in your flat. Oh, you spoke bad about me to somebody in passing. So he has all ears and all spy across everyone's home. He has tapped, if they have phones or some medium of communication, he has ensured they are tapped. Everybody knows what everybody does. All the sense gratification activities are limited, which of course we are trying to limit, but this is forced limitation. So what he does is, the children, he makes them study few subjects in the term of terrorism or killing. He tells them, oh, the American people, if there are 4 American soldiers, he uses a more derogatory term. I don't want to say that here in the class, but he says if there are 4 American soldiers, if you kill 2, how many are left? That's the way he teaches the kids maths. And he ensures this is the kind of curriculum. Then later on, when the kids grow up, if they are at the height of 138 centimeter, then it is forced conscription. That means they're forced to go to the military, even if they're children. So suppose a 4 or 5-year-old, sometimes you're tall, right? Children are tall. They come to the height of 138 centimeter. They force them into military and do labor for this regime, this dictator regime, forced labor from day to night. These people might earn $1, okay? That's for the military. Now for the general populace, okay, there is not much for the populace to do. If you're not in the military, you go to the offices. He doesn't pay them. that government does not pay the society. So what happens is, if they can't, if they are not paid, then they are not able to buy food. So half of, or I should say, three-fourths of the society is starving. They're always starving. They don't have blankets in the winter, right? Now, what they do, this is the example of demonic society, right? Now, that's faultless living entities are killed. They're starving the faultless innocent people of no fault of theirs. And because they're starving, these people are not able to think beyond food and sustenance. They just want to keep their lives together. Now, to the part women are tortured. What this guy does is he keeps when the girls are in their early teens, like age of 12 and 13, his people go and pick these girls out from school. That you will be part of this special group of women who serves this dictator, and this dictator is called God. So there were a lot of defectors, North Korean, and they were shocked that this guy is actually not God. So the propaganda he does within, he puts videos, like there was recently Trump went to meet the Kim Jong-un, the dictator of North Korea, and Trump bowed down to him. And he actually gets that recorded and he propagates that, through the television. The entire day, there is this propaganda going through, right? And then he shows that I'm God. So the women, the girls who are selected, they think, oh, they're going to God. This is the kind of propaganda of demonic activities. So all this we will read in the further chapters. So just giving you a live example of what's going on in this country, this particular country, and currently. Then, and the great souls engaged in Krishna consciousness are enriched. So, this is a natural reaction. We are only sadhakas, right? We're still not great souls. And this is absolutely disgusting behavior. How he has enslaved 25 million people under him, this one man. And nobody is able to touch this guy. He's so powerful because he has support of China. So, in a demonic society, now what happens is, when we start our sadhana as a Vaishnava sadhana, we are asked to follow the 4 regulative principles. In short, amongst us, our friends, we call it the regs. So we follow the 4 regs, right? So that's tapaha, shaucham, daya, satyam. So the thing is, if it is austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truth. So when we read the first canto, 16th chapter, when Parikshit was talking to the bull is a representation of dharma. So he was being tortured by Kali personified. So he was standing on one leg of truthfulness. So what happened? He was saying that how come you're being tortured by Kali? And what is the reason? Who's causing this? The dharma, the bull, his response was so amazing. He did not blame the Kali personified, right? He was basically saying, it's the circumstances which has brought me to this situation. That is, like, if you actually go to the many school of Vedanta, like for example, if you go to the Advaitavadis, they would say, oh, it's Atmanam, it's one's own self, right? And then if you would go to the Mimamsakas, and they would say, oh, it's karma, it's one's activities, like we say the prarabdhas, that is causing it. But we've read in Bhagavad Gita, just when we just finished it by March, we read that who is causing it? That's why there is this word called gunatita, right? So it's the gunas, the material modes who's causing. So we always think we are the doers. So he gives like such a beautiful answer. So what happens is, in a demonic society, when we follow the regs, when we say no meat eating, twice a month we're fasting. We have a Ekadashi coming up on Saturday. So we are basically following austerity, right? That is one of the leg of religious principles. And how we are following that? So we're just doing the basic right now. When we start the sadhana, basic, no meat eating. That is corresponding to austerity, right? And then that is tapaha. Then there is shaucham, cleanliness. How do you ensure cleanliness. So if people get up in the morning and taking bath, Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yah smaret pundarikaksham sa bahya abhyantara suchi. Right? So without and within. So it's not only keep the body clean, but keep the mind also clean, which is very important. I was saying in one of the class, you may dress how you want to. You may dress as a top Vaishnava. You may speak what you want, but we don't know what is going in that person's mind. So that cleanliness is very important, right? So that's why we are made to do chanting, 16 rounds. That mind cleansing is so important if anyone wants to progress in bhakti yoga. Okay, so very important to follow the process. So one of the regs we are following is no illicit sex. So that is corresponding to cleanliness. Then that was second. The third is we don't do intoxication. Now, in the early 2000s, when we were doing the 11th and 12th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, so there was this great debate where Dad explained what exactly intoxication means. It's not only alcohol, intoxication even to water. Like if you drink too much water, too much of anything is intoxication. It can be in act, it can be in food, right? So by eating, by karmas, right, by meditation, so intoxicating. If you're meditating too much on a particular serial or on a person or something like that. So corresponding to the mercy, the third leg of religious principles, we try to maintain no intoxication. So, but the major one is alcohol, where everyone is attracted to alcohol, right? And then the last leg where the bull was standing in the 16th chapter of the first canto, the truthfulness, right? So by truthful, to maintain that truthfulness, we say no gambling. Again, people usually take the direct connotation of gambling, like, doing that, playing the cards or doing the Russian roulette, going to the gambling center. Gambling with anything, gambling with your life. Like most of us are gambling with our life, right? We don't understand how to live, right? How to lead a life. That kind of, so truthful faith. So what's happening here is Kashyapa Muni is saying in a demonic society, innocent animals are killed. So what happens? Austerity goes. No meat eating, right? So propagation of meat eating, austerity flies out of the window. It's busted. Women are tortured by unnecessary sexual indulgence. Yesterday in class, Mataji was also saying, in the first chapter, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, right, from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Kulakshaya, dearest Lord, Arjuna says, dearest Lord Krishna, if I fight, and he's giving the fourth reason why he doesn't want to fight. So, Kulakshaya, what happens is, if I fight, there will be destruction of family. Then, Pranashyanti Kuladharma. If the family is destroyed or dynasty is destroyed, the family traditions are destroyed. Right? Even in our current society, they still maintain that a man and a woman should marry and then beget children. You should be a complete unit. At least that sanity or that prevalence is there somehow or the other. Because you can see what happens with divorced parents. How the mentality or consciousness is developed. They're always in that inferiority complex. Most of the kids in the society, they always have the suicidal thoughts. Just because one small, expectation or desire is not fulfilled. So, they are not made tough. They are very vulnerable, the children. And then that's how chaotic then the society becomes when they grow up. Then Arjuna says, Adharmo abhivat yuta. So, irreligion increases. Irreligion is, there is no direction. There is no family elder to look after the family, right? So, Pradushyanti Kulastriya. So, no one is looking, no protector is looking after the family. No elder is guiding the young ones. Then Pradushyanti Kulastriya. So, women are the first target. What happened in Bosnia-Herzegovina? The Czechoslovakia war. What did these guys do, the Chechens and the Bosnia? For each side, they actually targeted the women lot, the weak, the old, the women. They raped about 3 million women. Okay, and then what happened? Varna Shankaraha, unwanted progeny. Those children are really suffering. Nobody wants ownership of this. Even the mother who is giving them birth, they are split between hate and love. Because any mother, when a child is born from a womb, a natural love flows, but she will never forget the torture that she went through, right? And that, so she's divided between emotions of hate and love, or she's already gone mad, right, because of being overutilized. In a nice way I'm saying this. So pradushyanti kulastriya, and then varna sankaraha. Then what happens to the society? Naraka, hellish life. Patanti pitaro. Now, because the current people who are living, we have this concept in India of pinddan, or even in the Eastern religious philosophy, they have this concept of offerings to, they offer fruits, they offer even, meat, non-veg stuff to the forefathers, and they give incense, and they offer, pinddan. So they're offering to they pray for the forefathers that you're fine wherever you are. Mostly they think they're in heaven. So that's that's another illusion. But the point is, the family tradition, the conduct, so naraka patanti pitaro. So this beautifully Arjuna has explained the reason why he doesn't want to fight. Now, if you see the battlefield of Kurukshetra, what happened in that battlefield? Everyone came to, all the warriors, okay? So we're saying Ratha, Adhiratha, Maharathis, who can basically use we read in the 12th chapter of 3rd canto, right? When Brahma had created Vedas, and then he had created Upavedas, right? Upavedas, where he created Ayurveda, which is medical science, Dhanurveda, the military science, then Gandharva Veda, the musical science, right? That's Upaveda, Lord Brahma has created. And then Sthapayatya Veda, the architectural science, the construction science. So he has already created all these. So these people, Kashyapa Muni and Diti, are of a very high class, okay, very high class Brahmana society, right? One is a daughter of a king, the other one is a great sage, okay? He's a son of Marichi, who basically leads, or who is the who used to guide under fruitive activities, under karma kand. So they know all this. So he's saying your demonic progeny is going to affect, because they have more burden, more responsibility, is going to create chaos in the entire universe. So he says that when the women and meat, there will be liquor and sex indulgence. So when these are prominent in the society, by God's grace, one can expect a change in the social order by the Lord himself. So we already know that in Kali Yuga, how Lord has appeared. He will appear towards the end of Kali Yuga, but currently the Yuga Dharma is Nama Sankirtanam Yasya. How? Do we have? Oh, we don't have time for the next shloka. Okay, so Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Now, but the issue is people don't believe this. If people see me chanting, they say, "Why are you chanting?" We're saying we do kirtans for the good of the society. They say, "How can you chant and how can the society be improved by chanting?" So the question of faithlessness comes in. And then without faith, right, the results don't come. It is very important when you follow a path of faith is there. And the faith has a basis, right? So Kashyapa is first declaring what her kids are going to do. Okay, enrage great souls. Now the anger is going to be coming in. He's already angry. He's already angry thinking about it. So we will see tomorrow in the next shloka what else he says. Oh yeah, the next shloka is also beautiful. All right, I will end my class here. We are exactly dot at 8. If there are any questions, please, you can go ahead and put it now. Otherwise, we will move on to the next session. Hare Krishna.